guys, it's Melanie. Welcome to my channel. Today it's time for my August Wheel of TBR, so stay tuned. So here are all the books, well minus one, that the Wheel gave me last month. So I've got my little notepad here with what I spun and what each thing was for. And I can tell you how I did. So for the readathon spin, I chose Heir of Fire, and I did read this. For Marty pick, he picked Anna Karenina. Oh, there's gonna be Payback coming towards, well, once I'm finished with my wheel. Marty's gonna be making a little appearance. He's agreed to let me get a little Payback. But as far as Anna Karenina goes, I am currently on page 505 of this. So I still have a chunk left, but I am reading it. There's still like about 4.5 days left as I'm filming this in the month. So I should be able to complete this in time. For my blind pick, I chose Rage and Ruin by Jennifer L. Armentrout. And I have not picked this up, so this is one I will have to be reading in August. For Out of My Comfort Zone, I went with The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, and I did read this. For ARC, I went with the graphic novel of The Giver by Lois Lowry, and I am currently reading this and on page 71, and plan to finish this by the end of the month. For my TBR jar, I had to read Little Women, and I have not read it, so I'll have to read that in August as well. For romance, I went with Dragonfly in Amber by Diana Gabaldon, and I did complete this. For graveyard, I went with Nameless by Lily St. Croix, and I'm on page 124. Don't know if I'll finish it this month, but I'll have to finish it in August if I don't. For ugly cover, I went with Two-Way Street by Lauren Barnholt. I have not read this, so I have to read that in August as well. And for RB Digital, I had to read Chocolate Chip Cookie Murder by Joanne Fluke, and I did read that. So out of my 10 spins, I only completed 3. Granted, I did complete other books, and you'll see that in my wrap-up vlog, or if you watched my regular vlogs, you'd see those too. But from the wheel, I only completed 3, and I'm currently working on 3. Oh no, sorry, I completed 4 because I forgot to include the audiobook from RB Digital. So I completed 4, I'm working on 3, and I haven't touched these 3. So I'm already starting out with all this that I need to read in August if I don't finish it by the end of this month. And then if you watched the video that I posted before this, which is my new series, Have I Read It?, where it's kind of like Books in Lala's Closet Unhaul, where if I haven't read it, I either have to read it or unhaul it. And okay, so if you didn't watch that, my first book haul that I did on my channel was in August, or was for August of 2017, 3 years ago. And I purchased 10 books. And out of those 10 books, 6 of them I have not read. So these 6 books are going to have to fit into my TBR for August. Maybe I can fit some of them on the wheel. We'll see. I'm going to try to. And in addition to that, I have 4 buddy reads that I'm doing for August. So one of them I do not have a physical copy of. That is The Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan. It is the 2nd book in the Percy Jackson series. The other 3, we have Legend by Marie Lu, Graceling by Kristen Cashore, and Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. So I shall try to squeeze these in as well. So already I have a ton of books that I need to read in August, and I haven't even spun the wheel yet. So hopefully I can fit some of those in the wheel, because at this point I have like 13 books that I need to read for August. Yeah, and possibly more if I don't finish a couple more. Okay, so let's just get started with the spins. Once I finish my 10 spins, Marty's actually going to come on here for my little payback, and I'm going to spin the wheel and pick a book for, or he's going to spin the wheel and I will pick a book for him that he has to physically read, because he doesn't really physically read books. He'll listen to audiobooks with me, but that's it. So as my payback, he will be physically reading a book of my choosing, though I'm not going to be nearly as mean. Okay, let's go to my first spin. Hoopla Rec. Okay, so I just go on to Hoopla and see what they recommend for me. So when I go on to the Hoopla app and I click on audiobooks, let's go to recommended, and you can see here the list of books that they have recommended. So let's see. Everything I click on actually is like the 4th book in a series, or the 2nd book in a series, or the conclusion to the series. There is one book in here that I've actually read, and that's The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. Okay, I've got one, but I'm going to need to check on Goodreads real quick to make sure that it's not part of a series first. It's the 9th book in a series. Let's keep looking. Okay, maybe with the exception of the Pete the Cat book, all of these I think are part of a series. Alright, let me try this one. It's the 7th book in a series. Dang it. Okay, I'm gonna go to their featured instead of recommended, just because maybe I'll have better luck. Ooh, here's one that I don't own. Ooh, never mind. In the featured is Rage and Ruin. Perfect. That is gonna be my book. Yes, that adds one of those that I needed to read anyway. This is excellent. Okay, so for my Hoopla Rec, we will be doing Rage and Ruin. Wait, no, I can't do that. Okay, hold on. Rage and Ruin was one that I was supposed to read last month, so I can't use that one. But it is good to know it's on Hoopla. Okay, there is another book that I see on Hoopla that I do want to read. I actually have it on my Amazon wish list, and that is You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. Get it to focus there. And I know this is about a girl who she's not interested in all the high school kind of things like prom and all of that. She really isn't interested in that, but she's trying to get into this college. She's done everything she needs to get these perfect grades and do everything she needs to do to get into the school. The only problem is she doesn't have the financial aid. What she was planning on getting for financial aid fell through, and now her only chance is to become prom queen, because this school of hers, they actually award a scholarship to the prom king and queen. So now something that she really kind of despises, she's having to work towards. Anyway, I've heard it was really good, and I want to read that. So for Hoopla Rec, I will be reading You Should See Me in a Crown. And we're going to replace that with Classic. I haven't been having a whole lot of luck with classics lately. Okay, for spin number 2. Oh, this wheel is being so nice to me. It's Scribd today's pick. So I'll do that in just 1 second. I forgot to mark. Where is it? Right here. Oh, that was the first time I got that panel. If you don't know, I'm marking the board each time I get a color, so that if I get, once one spot has 5 marks on it, I have to do an extra spin, which would not be good for August right now just because I have so many that I'm gonna have to read. But okay, so I had to mark for this one, and now I'm marking for this green one here. And let's see what Scribd's today's pick is. And that's what I'll read for that one. So today's pick for Scribd is Girl Serpent Thorn by Melissa Bashardoust. And I don't really know what that's about. I have heard people talk about it, and let's see. It's an alluring feminist fairy tale about a girl cursed to be poisonous to the touch and who discovers what power might lie in such a curse. And I've heard it was really good. So cool. That's what I'm going to be reading for Scribd's today's pick. And we will replace that with most recent. And that is just a book that I've most recently acquired. All right, spin number 3. Classic. Ooh, one of these that I need to read from my Have I Read It Yet is a classic, Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving. So I'll be reading this one for that. Excellent. Let me mark that. This one's gotten it 2 out of the 3 times. All right, we'll replace classic with contemporary. Okay, spin number 4. A reread. I think I'm going to take it really easy on myself with this one, and since none of these would really classify as a reread, I'm going to go with a graphic novel that I've already read. So for this, I'm going to go with the graphic novel of The Babysitter's Club, Christie's Great Idea. I recently got the second one, so I can reread this and then I'll be ready to read the next one. Okay, let me mark this. And we'll replace reread with Person of Color. All right, so that's 4 spins down. So spin number 5. Roll the dice. Oh, this is a fun one. Okay, so for roll the dice, let me change the angle of my camera so you can see the dice here. Okay, so I have 3 different dice. This one here will determine which shelf I pick from, because I have 12 shelves. So I'll roll this one to see which shelf I pick from. So we'll do that now. I will be picking from the 6th shelf. And then on that shelf, there are 5 actual shelves, but if you count the top, because I have the book sitting on the top for a lot of them, you could say 6. So I'm rolling this dice for that. So, so the 6th shelf of the 6th bookshelf. And on that, there's averaging about, I think, 30 books on each shelf. So this die goes to 30. We're going to roll it to kind of choose which book. So I think that was on the 26th book. So 6th bookshelf, 6th shelf, 26th book. Okay, so for that we have Small World by Tabitha King. I don't really know anything about this. Somebody gave this to me. I do know it's like a thriller, I think. So this says, Roger Tinker is an evil genius with a machine that can work a terrible miracle. And as his sexual instructress par excellence, Dolly Douglas enjoys total control over Roger. Together with the aid of his awesome weapon, Roger and Dolly are out to cut all her enemies down to size. They are going to punish all the people she hates from the darkest depths of her icy heart. Glamorous Lena Shaw will only be the first. Small World. I think this is going to be fun. Okay. So that was spin number 5. And let me roll the dice. And we're going to replace this with new release. That's pretty self-explanatory. Also, sorry if the angle changed, but when I tilted the camera down, I don't know if I got it back the right way. Okay, spin number 6. One word title. Let me see if any of these, oh yes. I have 2 here that will count for one word title. Graceling and Legend. So I'm just going to say Graceling is my choice for that one. So let's mark one word title. We'll replace that with TBR Vet. I also had Frozen and Stolen. Those would have worked as well. And for TBR Vet, any of those from my Have I Read It Yet series will work because they've been on my shelves for at least 3 years. Okay, 7th spin. Knock the wheel off there. Pet pick. Okay, I haven't filmed anything with the pets yet, so let me go set that up and I'll be right back. Okay, so I decided not to be too hard on myself, but also didn't want to make it too easy. And I picked 2 books, Queen of Shadow and Legend, that I already have to read. And then I also added the test as, you know, just having a 3rd one. And then I have Miss Katniss here ready to grab herself some snacks. So there you go, baby. Come here. Look, pick a treat. They're on the books. Smell it? You smell the treats? Look, there's one on here. Look, one here, one here, one here, one here, one here. Okay, does that count? She picked Queen of Shadows. Here, you want another one? Here. Here's another one. Here you go. There you go. Oh, you dropped it. Good girl. Alright, now I have Missy here, and I'm doing the same thing. I've got 2 that I need to read. Frozen and More Than Memories. And then I picked one extra, Nim's Island. So I'm going to put her down. here, Missy. Look. Missy. Okay. Here. She picked Frozen. Tigger did too. Here, you want a treat? Okay. This did not go well. It works easier with the dogs. Okay, so to the best of my ability, they both ended up kind of picking ones that I was going to have to read anyway, so I'm just going to go with Queen of Shadows for pet pick. I can't remember if I marked that, so I'm just going to go ahead and mark it. Let me mark them at the end of each thing so I remember to do it that way. We're going to replace pet pick with Coons, because I have about a gazillion Coons that were given to me, so I want to get through them. Plus, I do really enjoy Koontz books. And that's Dean Koontz. Okay, so this is spin number 8, I think. New release. Do I have any of these that are new release? No. Okay, so this is one that I just got, and it did come out this year. It's A Werewolf in Riverdale by Caleb Roerig, and this is based on there was like an Archie horror comic series called Jughead the Hunger, and this is kind of based on that, where Jughead is a werewolf. So this is what I will be reading for that. I also chose this one because it's short. It's like 290 something pages, so that'll be helpful. Okay, marking that one. And we will replace new release with Twitter pick. And if this one comes up, I will do a Twitter poll and Twitter will pick which one I read. Okay, spin number 9. Face. I need to read a book with a face on the cover. Frozen works for that, by Melissa De La Cruz and Michael Johnston, because face. I'm glad when I can get actually some of these in there, because it's getting out of control. Okay, mark face. There's only 2 of them that have 3 marks on them right now. We're going to replace face with A through Z. For that, I will be using a random letter generator, and whatever letter it picks, I will pick a book with an author that has that last name, or their last name starts with that letter. Yeah, because my shelves are currently in alphabetical order by author's last name, so that would be the easiest way to go. Okay, last spin, for me anyway. Standalone. Any of these work as a standalone? Why, yes. More Than Memories by N.E. Henderson. It actually says a more than standalone novel. So this one will work for that. Okay, and let me mark it. And we'll replace standalone with wild card, and this is pick a book I don't know much about, which works for a lot of the books I have because I've had them for so long that I forget what they're about. So okay, so those are all the spins for me. Let me see if I can hold everything that I need to read for the month of August. Okay, so I need to read all of these in August, plus those 2 audiobooks, plus A Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan. Plus, if I can't finish these by the end of July, they'll have to get added to the stack as well. Yeah, I'm out of my mind. How many books is that? Let's see, not including these. Okay, so not including those 3, 17. I have to read 17 books in August. I also plan on doing the N.E.W.T.s. And I want to do a disclaimer for that. We do not support J.K. Rowling in this house. After all of the things she has said and done, we do not believe what she believes. We are not purchasing any more Harry Potter merchandise or anything like that. However, I have supported G from Book Roast since, well, before I ever started my channel. I absolutely adore her, and she works incredibly hard on her Owls and N.E.W.T.s readathons. And after the most recent J.K. Rowling events, she's determined that this is the final round of the N.E.W.T.s. And it's not going to be hosted on Twitter or anything like that, but the challenges are available for those that want to complete their careers. And well, I have really enjoyed doing these so far, and I want to complete because I have done all of the others up to this point. So if you're interested in seeing my N.E.W.T.s TBR, I will include that at the end of this, after everything with Marty spinning the wheel. I'll stop the camera. I will go and sort through what I need for my career, and then I'll come back with my TBR for that, kind of added to the end, and hopefully I can use these books and not have to add any more. So now let me get Marty in here for that little bit of payback. Marty. Also, when he spins, I'm not going to replace the thing that it lands on. I'll save that for me, and I'm not going to mark it either. This is just a special, like, one-off for him. Oh, Marty. Let me go get him. All right, my love. Come and spin the wheel. Oh, hold on. His head's cut off. Let me move the camera back a little. He's a little taller than I am. Koontz. You like Dean Koontz. Alright. So I will be picking one out for him to physically read. Okay, so I didn't really know which one to choose. All of the Koontz that I've read, Marty has also read as well. So I just kind of picked a random one. I picked whichever one was on top, and that was The Bad Place. And this says, Frank Pollard is afraid to fall asleep. Every morning he awakes, he discovers something strange, like blood on his hands, a bizarre mystery that tortures his soul. 2 investigators have been hired to follow the haunted man, but only one person, a young man with Down syndrome, can imagine where their journeys might end. That terrible place from which no one ever returns, the bad place. So what do you think about your choice?
Cool. I'll let you know.
Okay. Okay, so for those of you that want to stick around to see what I choose for my N.E.W.T.s, cool, see you in a second. And for those that want to end here, I want to go ahead and say thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And always remember to be completely you. And I'll see you next time. Okay guys, I'll be back in just a little bit with all of my N.E.W.T.s stuff worked out. Many hours later, I have figured out all of my N.E.W.T.s stuff. So when I did my owls, I did it for Alchemist because I wanted to pick the one that had the most prompts. Kind of kicking myself for that now, but I have them all written down here. Okay, so I have to do ancient runes and I have to get an O. So before I can get to the O, I have to do the E, and before I can get to the E, I have to get the A. So to get an A, that is Beshetta Babbling, author with the first or last name that starts with a B. For that, I will be reading Two-Way Street by Lauren Barnholt. For E, read a classic, I will be reading Little Women. For O, love rune, read a romance, I will be reading Graceling. Because this says on here, a heart-racing romance that will consume you, hold you captive, and leave you wanting more. So, counting this. Oh, and there are a few books that I had to add for this because I didn't have anything to complete certain prompts. Such as, for arithmancy, I have to get an O in that as well. So for an A, I need Precisionist Key, read a nonfiction. I'm reading The Other Wes Moore by Wes Moore. It's an autobiography. E, book that ends on an uneven number. The Hearts We Sold. It ends on page, I think, 381. Yes, 381. For O, a book between 260 to 299 pages. I'm reading A Werewolf in Riverdale. It has 296 pages. For herbology, I have to get an O. And for the A, Puffapods, flowers on the cover. I put down Girl Serpent Thorn. That was my Scribd pick. Girl Serpent Thorn had like pink flowers around, like a vine of them around a snake. Then we have for E, Nettle Plant, a book that might be impactful. I added Muslim Girl, A Coming of Age by Amani Al-Katabe. And this I think is also like an autobiography and it's short too. For O, Always Growing, a book longer than your previous read. I'm reading You Should See Me in a Crown, which is 328 pages, and that's my hoopla pick. So for potions, I need an O. So for A, ingredient, Flying Seahorse, read a book with sky in the title or on the cover. I'm reading A Sleepy Hollow because there is sky on the cover. For E, Doxicide, an author with a first or last name that starts with a D. I will be reading the second book. With the first book will come for a different thing. Of Heart of Dread series by Melissa De La Cruz and Michael Johnson. De La Cruz starts with a D. So yeah. For O, Girding Potion for Endurance, a book over 450 pages. Rage and Ruin. I don't know how many pages it says exactly, but it's over 500. 600 pages. For Transfigurations, I need an O. So for A, Lapifor spell, animal on the cover or title. I'm reading The Apprentice Witch. There is like a little rabbit on the cover there. For Draconifor's spell, book with dragons or fire on the title or in the cover, I'm reading Frozen because there is a dragon right here. For O, Duro, a hardening spell, read a hardcover or a book you thought would be hard. I'm reading Queen of Shadows, hardcover, also could be hard, considered hard because it's a lot of pages. This one's over 600 pages, 645. For astronomy, I need an E. So for A, star chart, a star on the cover or title or in the series name. I'm reading Legend by Marie Lu. There is a star right there. And for E, read a sci-fi. I'll be reading a graphic novel, Back to the Future, Tales from the Time Train. Because Back to the Future is totally sci-fi. So I only had to add like three more books, I think. Because I didn't have enough. And the only ones I didn't manage to fit in that was the Babysitter Club graphic novel, Small World by Tabitha King, Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan. I think that's it. Wish me luck, and stay tuned for all of those vlogs to come to see how I actually do and if I can accomplish all of this. Also stay tuned for next month's wheel to see how Marty did with his book he has to read. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've already said all of the thumbs up and all that stuff earlier, so I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.